Hola, buenos dias. Today I'm going to be trying to do the Uyuni Salt Flats without a tour guide. Maybe the only one to do it alone. Unfortunately, considering it's going to be probably a 20-kilometer round trip walk, I'm walking with a limp. A limp because I have a blister on the back of my right foot after walking 17 or 18 kilometers in the Devil's Throat 2 days ago in Atacama in Chile. I'm currently walking to the Terminal Terrestre in Uyuni, where supposedly I need to get on a bus to Oruro and get off at Colchani. It should cost me 5 Bolivianos or 10, which is around $1 or £1 British, give or take. So I'm currently walking through the town or city of Uyuni, which I would describe as a ghost town with residents. Hola, necesito comprar boleto aquí o acá. Bueno. Hola, solo a Colchani, por favor.
No, al chofer le vas a pagar.
Oh, ¿pagar a él? Oh, bueno. Solo a Colchani.
Ah, no, así nomás.
¿Perdón?
Ahí nomás, así nomás se va a ir. Voy a pagar en Colchani.
Sí, 5 bolivianos, sí.
Al bajar no me vas a pagar.
¿Pagar tú o...?
No, al bajar me vas a pagar. Al bajar, Colchani, cuando te quedas ahí me vas a pagar.
Oh, en Colchani.
Sí.
Sí, bueno, gracias.
Atrás vas a ir.
Sí, gracias. Hola. Inglés y para Hollandia también. Sí. ¿A dónde vas? ¿Oruro? ¿Vives en Oruro o solo viajes? Bueno.
Domingo, mañana, lunes, martes volvemos.
Sí.
Hay que buscarse la vida. En Bolivia, la vida.
Muy bien. Gracias. ¿Necesitas mi boleto o no?
Eso no es boleto, eso es uso terminal.
Al Colchani.
Pero eso no es boleto, es uso terminal. Es eso.
No sé, yo como...
Uso terminal, el pasaje es otros 5 bolivianos.
Bueno, gracias.
5 bolivianos tu pasaje.
¿Oh, 5?
Sí.
Bien, gracias.
¿Cómo tiene para diga?
Sí, Salar. Camino. Por allá, creo. Gracias. ¿Sí? ¿Vives aquí?
No.
No.
Trabajar.
Bueno, trabajar. ¿Dónde? Gracias. Ciao. So I have arrived now in Colchani, a small town and the entrance to the salt flats. As expected, there is nobody doing what I'm doing today. I am, as you can see, the only one here. Well, there might be some other people here, but they're locals working or living, and there is a football pitch behind me. There you go, with some nice blue and white goalposts. I thought I'd paid 2 Bolivianos for the bus. You probably saw a bit of confusion when I was getting off there. That's because when I got on the bus, I paid 2 Bolivianos for this. I think maybe this is just for paying to use the terminal where I got on the bus, but I had to pay 5 Bolivianos when I exited. So total that's 7, which is around 70 British pence. So not too much to complain about anyway. So I am now officially starting my maybe 3-hour walk into the salt flats, which is directly up this road behind me. There is an abandoned bus here behind me and a Colchani sign, and the bus on the side of it also says Bolivia, Peru, Chile y Brazil. There is a railway track in the middle of this village as well. Looks very unused, and there's some Bolivian woman ambling through the roads in the middle of the shot there. And just in case you saw this house and you were feeling very attracted towards buying it, it says it's not for sale, so unlucky for you. This is the square, the empty central square of Colchani. Actually, there is one cleaner over there. And looking around the panoramic view from this square, you've got some maybe government buildings here, and there is a church around the corner as well. I've already walked past it. It's got a padlock on, unfortunately. Iglesia de San Rosario. Just over my shoulder there. I'm now walking down a street towards an artisanal market, apparently. and you can see there's loads of like rubble on the sides of the roads, and they're currently doing up these roads, I think, if you can call it that. So I'm now in the market area. There isn't much going on here. There's a couple of cars turned up with people who have been robbed. They're going on paid tours, but you can see some sort of Bolivian clothing there. Here are the people who've been robbed behind me, and there's some quite nice stalls here. There's also some people walking around selling some snacks, like this person here. Here is the Salt Museum, and it is about as open as a closed book. There's quite a lot of sort of vehicles that have just been left here as a kind of, maybe it's kind of like a tourist attraction. And all these stairs look almost magical. I have arrived now at the Museum of the Llamas and Salt in Colchani, and there's a small dog behind me as well. Loads of people are just leaving for some reason. They look like local people. I'm not sure why they were all in there. Hola. Buen día. ¿Cuánto cuesta un boleto? 5. Bueno, tal vez cuando yo regreso porque camino. Gracias. Nos vemos. That woman who was walking earlier, she's come around here. I don't know if she lives around here, but pretty much every house I see here is incomplete. And I think this could be the start of the end. Not in a bad way, but this road is almost leading out of the village now. And at some point this concrete will stop and turn to salt. How long will it take until that happens? Maybe half an hour or an hour, and then I'll be walking through the salt. Just a few minutes later, there's a sign saying a guide to the Salt Flats with a phone number on it and a car wash somewhere around here apparently. There's some guy cutting something with a machine, a drill, I think, over there. And there's some salty vehicles and monuments over here on my left. I mean, look at this house. I don't know what it's all about. But here, just next to it, is the salty car and some kind of animal, maybe. And in the background as well, there's some other kind of animal. Now, looking from my point of view up close, because you're not actually here, it doesn't look like salt. It looks like white paint on those anyway. And maybe someone can care to explain to me if I have any Bolivian viewers or Senegalese viewers, because I'm not sure why the capital of Senegal is Senegal is on this monument. I believe Dakar is the capital of Senegal, but it's got the Bolivian flag on it, so not too sure. And now it has really turned quiet along this two-way road, which I can cross because there's no one coming at the moment. There's look like a fresh new barrier in the middle, and that is going that way, and I'm coming facing the oncoming traffic, and I can actually start to see water in the distance, but it's a mirage. And here above me is my first directive. I know I'm going the right way. I can't really go the wrong way other than backwards. This sign says Transito pesado a la derecha. That means heavy loads. It should stay on the right side of this road to allow other vehicles to overtake on the left. And after translating that in Spanish, I thought I might try and explain what I've done so far if there's any Spanish viewers. So, si quieres visitar Salar de Uyuni solo, sin guía, sin tour, necesitas caminar a terminal terrestre y comprar un boleto a Oruro, pero necesitas preguntar solo un boleto a Colchani y es solo 5 bolivianos, pero la dirección de autobús es a Oruro, por eso necesitas bus a Oruro, y cuando salgas el autobús a Colchani son perros a la derecha. They don't look very happy. There's some kind of ostrich monument there as well. They're still barking at me. Hola. Perón.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
¿De qué país vienes?
Inglaterra.
Yo soy también de Inglaterra.
¿En serio?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Que yo camino ahora.
Pero vamos a ir en coche.
No, yo regreso.
¿No quieres ir en coche?
Pero
En coche al Salar.
sí, pero yo camino.
¿Quieres caminar?
Sí.
No, pero no quieres ir en coche.
¿Qué es coche? ¿Cuál es?
En camión.
Ay.
En camión.
¿En este?
¿Sí?
Bueno.
Ven,
Sí,
ven.
sí, bueno.
Ven acá. Con este vamos.
¿Vives aquí?
Sí, con este vamos, con este coche.
Ah, wow, bueno. ¿Pero por qué vas a Salar? ¿Trabaja?
Yo trabajo en el laberinto.
Laberinto,
El
¿dónde es?
laberinto de sal, la mano de Dios, la pirámide, el cóndor de sal, el águila de sal, el soso de sal.
Ah, bueno.
Yo ahí voy, todos los días voy a trabajar allá. Yo soy presidente de allá de la asociación.
Ay, wow.
Y,
Mucho gusto.
y yo voy a trabajar ahí todos los
Ah,
días
bueno.
con este coche.
Sí, sí,
Ahora estoy yendo allá.
Bueno,
Sí.
bueno.
Ven acá.
¿Sí? Ah, acá.
Un momento, un momento.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Eric me llamo, Eric.
Eric.
Claro.
Mucho gusto.
Yo soy Eric de Bolivia.
Eric de Bolivia, sí, no de Inglaterra.
¿Está ahí?
Gracias.
Yo soy Eric de Bolivia.
Eric de Bolivia.
Sí. Yo todos los días voy al Salar.
Ah, ¿en serio?
Sí, todos los días. Con este coche. Mira,
Sí.
miren lo que está blanco.
Ah, sí.
Sí, esto es el coche. Mañana también voy en la mañana.
Ah, bueno.
Mucho frío aquí en Colchani.
Sí, pero
Y-
ahora,
sí,
¿no?
Sí, y por eso yo voy de día.
Ah, bueno.
No voy temprano.
Sí, sí.
Él se llama Loki.
Loki. Hola, Loki. ¿Es tu perro?
Es mi perro.
Sí. ¿Solo uno tienes? O-
Sí, tengo uno. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
25.
Yo tengo 35.
30. Ah, bueno. 10 años más. ¿Cuánto tiempo vives aquí en Colchani?
Los 35
Ah, bueno,
años.
wow, toda tu vida.
Ah,
¿Te gusta aquí?
¿sí?
Sí. ¿Es tu casa a la izquierda? Ahí, sí, bueno.
Ese es de Sales, de Sal.
Ah, sí.
Sales.
Sales. ¿Y tienes hijos o
Ella,
familia?
mi hija está dentro.
Ah, bueno. ¿Cuántos años tiene?
Ella tiene 15 años. ¿Tú dónde vas? ¿Vas a las banderas o vas al laberinto?
Creo Banderas.
Vamos a la orilla del Salar.
Sí.
Las banderas están directo.
Más derecho.
Más
Bueno,
directo.
sí, sí, sí.
Llegamos a la orilla del Salar. Las esculturas están a la mano derecha. Allá.
Bueno.
Yo llego a la orilla del Salar y tengo que ir allá.
Ah, bueno.
Y tú
Sí,
tienes que ir directo allá.
sí, entiendo, sí. Sí, porque yo camino solo porque en la ciudad no quiero un guía, no quiero un tour.
Ah, ¿no quieres?
No, normalmente yo quiero solo...
Caminar.
Sí, caminar y...
Cristal de sal.
Cristal de sal.
Te regalo. Te regalo para ti.
¿Yo?
Para ti,
¿En
sí.
serio?
Sí.
Wow. Muchas gracias.
Son de sal. Tienes que probarle.
Oh, ¿en serio?
Gambele, sal.
¿Yo puedo?
Sí.
Ah, sí.
Sal.
Sí, sal. Sí,
¿Sí o
sal.
no?
Sí,
Sí, sal.
me gusta sal.
Tengo un amigo de Argentina.
¿Ah, sí?
Se llamaba Leo.
Leo, bueno.
Y su esposa se llamaban... No me acuerdo, tres con ella. Y él vivió conmigo 2 semanas.
Ah,
Aquí en mi casa vivía.
¿en serio?
Ahí dormía
Ah, wow.
y comíamos la misma comida.
Sí, wow.
A veces cocinaba la mujer, ¿cómo se llama? No me acuerdo bien, pero me acuerdo ahorita. Ella cocinaba, el otro noche cocinaba mi esposa.
Sí. Muy bien,
Era
muy bien.
bonito.
Sí.
Y Leo ganó plata. Él hacía manillas,
Ah, sí.
collares.
Sí.
Y ahí ganó dinero ella. El Leo ganó mucha plata y se fue para Perú.
Ah, pero yo me voy a hablar también.
Eso se llama joyas del Salar.
Joyas, cristales, sí.
de sal, claro.
Sí, cristales.
Su otro nombre se llama joyas del Salar.
Joyas, muy bien.
Aquí está.
¿Y cuántas horas trabajas en un día normalmente?
Yo trabajo 8 horas.
Wow.
Nos vamos al Salar.
Vamos. Hola, muchas gracias, Eric. Muy bien. Chao. Que tenga un buen día. Eric y Sandra. Chao. So I have arrived now at the Salt Flats without a tour. I got a lift from Eric and Sandra, his wife. There's quite a lot of water here, more water than I was expecting. So I'm just going to see how far I can walk without getting my feet too wet. They are actually selling some wellies there behind me. Just going to see which way the cars go, maybe follow those. Okay, this may be the end of my journey today because there is a lot of deep water here and I do not want to get my shoes wet. Just trying to look for alternatives. I mean, I could try hitchhiking, but I don't know if the tour guides will pick me up for free. It's about 10 minutes later now. I'm still trying to come up with an idea. But there's some nice mountains and clouds in the background. There don't seem to be any other tour groups coming up this way. The question I have in my mind is, do I barefoot it? I'm just looking at the wheels of the cars. They don't seem to be going above the halfway point, so I presume that's going to be below my knee. It's just whether I sink in the salt or not. So I'm trying to look for lighter patches of water where it's less shallow to walk across. The walk isn't too long, it's probably going to be about 5 minutes to cross the water, and then I'll be on the other side with wet feet, and I don't have a towel either. Just got probably just use this yellow shirt. So I think I've talked myself into it, and I'm going to try walking through the salt flats in Bolivia, the water, with bare feet. Alright, my socks are off, my shoes are off, and I'm going to be walking somewhere there. The ground, the salt, is very, very cold. Oh, wow. Whew, this is going to be an exciting walk, but I'm only here once in my life, so let's give it a go and save some money. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely freezing, and my feet are going probably 2 foot down into the ground, and I can feel the hard ground at the bottom. And yes, I am definitely the only one doing this today, maybe ever. I may have picked the wrong route to walk on. I think the guides might know better where the high land is in this area. There's a tour group over there. See, when I first thought, I didn't think the wheels were too far into the ground, but although I haven't been knee deep yet, nearly though. Woo. And now, after about 5 minutes in the water, I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more. I've acclimatised to the cold. It's almost like fizzing when I'm walking through the water, and this trail behind me, I can hear a fizz and sort of lots of bubbles. And basically, I'm walking on the salt in the middle of Uyuni Salt Flats. There's areas in this water where the salt is very crystallised and very hard to walk on. What's happened to my camera? Oh, there's a drop of salt water on it. There we go. Yeah, there's areas in this lake, in the salt flats, where it's very crystallised and very hard. It's almost like walking on Lego. And then there's areas where it's almost like fine salt. So I should have brought my grinder for the other areas and ground the salt to make it easier to walk on. But I'm actually quite enjoying walking through this water now. Yeah, quite nice. Every time a tour group comes past me, I can see them looking out the windows at me. I'm hoping that I'm changing the face of tourism in Uyuni, and I'm going to make loads of people who come here do what I'm doing for free and save money. Okay, my shoes are back on. That took me about half an hour, I think, because obviously I had to get the salt off. So I had to put one shoe on at a time, and I couldn't record it because I would have fallen over. I was almost looking like the Karate Kid in the middle of the salt flats, trying to dry my foot with a piece of tissue I found in my pocket, and then put one shoe on and then do the same with the other, always trying to keep the foot reasonably dry, but it's still wet. And I'm going to hopefully be walking without any more water now, which means it will be quicker. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. It feels like I can shout as loud as I want. No one can hear me. What a beautiful day here in Bolivia, Uyuni. So on the other side of the water, according to my offline map, Isla Banderitas, which is an island of flags, apparently is another 1 hour, 20-minute walk. That's a direction. So I'll see you there. So this is what salt in the Bolivian salt flats looks like up close. This looks pretty interesting. There's a pool of water in there. Lucky I didn't stand in there. It goes quite deep. Maybe I've got to be a bit careful. 45 minutes away apparently. I don't even know if you can see it on the camera. Maybe just there in the middle of the shot. It seems to be getting further away the closer I walk towards it. I think there's still probably around half an hour to go, but I've had a bit of a mishap. Maybe it was something in the breakfast at my hostel this morning. That was eggs, milk, yogurt, some water. Maybe the water, I'm not sure if the water was too good, but I've suddenly had to go to nature's bathroom, and there isn't any bathroom that I can pay for on the way as I'm walking. I'm basically halfway in between the village and the place where the flags are. I don't even know if there's a toilet there. So I've done it here, and I've covered it in salt to the best of my ability. I was starting to feel a bit queasy before that incident just back there, and even now, still a bit of a tummy ache and stuff. I think I've got about 15 minutes to go. It's over there somewhere. And And just after maybe 3 hours, 15 minutes after arriving in Colchani, the village, the island of the flags is 5 minutes in that direction. Nearly there. Nearly there, nearly there. Come all the way from over there, the mountains in the background. Flags, which are actually just around there. And it is a tourist trap, and the tourists are trapped, and I'm now one of them, but at least I didn't pay to come here. This, I'm not sure what it represents. This is the price I pay for not having a tour guide, but at least I get to see it with my own eyes. And a lot of English people hire Spanish-speaking tour guides anyway, and they tell me that they didn't understand what they were saying anyway. So here you go, Dakar, Bolivia. So here is the island of the flags, and here are the tourists as well, and there's a little building here as well. And in the far distance by those mountains is where I've walked from. Is this flag not the Friesland flag, the Friesland vlag, or the Heerenveen vlag? There's quite a lot of flags here. And I'm just walking around the back of the building now. There's a few tour trucks here, but here you can really see the vast expanse of the Salt Flats. And I'm not sure, maybe those mountains in the distance, or a small shadow, is Chile. So let's go inside this building and have a look. So it looks like there's a lot of tourists in here having their free lunch, but it's actually quite nice in here. They've got like llamas. So I'm leaving now. It looks like they get a decent spread of lunch here. Obviously it's all paid for. As you can see on the tables there, quite a big spread. But I'm headed out now. At some point I'm going to have to head back. Leave here happily knowing my pockets are fuller than anybody else's inside the building who all paid for tours. And I found some flamingos as well. One of them's being cleaned and the other one is over there. It's a shame that people on the tour aren't allowed to sit outside while they're having their meals. It's really lovely weather, and there's a little seating area over there as well. That would be a complaint of mine if I'd paid for one. I'm going to have one more walk around the back and then make my way back, as I don't want the sun to set and myself to freeze to death in the middle of the Salt Flats. So this is what the Bolivian salt flats in Uyuni look like from Isla Banderitas. The sun is bright. It is in the early afternoon and I'm going to be heading back soon. Okay, so I've tried to get a few sort of edgy shots, although I think it's kind of like the classic tourist shot, trying to do something interesting, except I've only got a water bottle as a prop. All of these tour guides have got like dinosaurs and things, and they drive around with these cameras. I've just got my phone at the moment. I've got another camera as well, but I can't use it right now. The way I managed to get my fingertip on the bottle was I walked behind the bottle and lined up my eye directly with the bottle cap and the camera that I took the photo with. And then I put my finger in front of my eye and then moved to the side, keeping my finger there. And I just hoped for the first time I did that the finger would end up being on top of the bottle from the camera's point of view, and it seemed to turn out quite good, so happy days. I'm going to walk back now. It's another 3.5 hours. Ooh, I'll try and stick my thumb out, but the tour guides... I got one beep from a tour guide, so maybe if there's space in the boot somewhere, but yeah, it's not going to be likely, because I haven't paid anything. I'm going to try something I haven't tried in about 7 years. Now I'm going to try something I've tried once in about 10 years. I've got indents of salt in my hands because of the pressure. As far as I'm aware, there's no bridges in the Salt Flats, so let's make one, or try to at least. Wow, the view from here is incredible. I might take a photo upside down to get this view. When you look upside down like that, you can see the clouds. It's almost like the salt flat is the sky and the clouds and the blue is the ground. I'm glad I did that. So this is the usual view, and the view that I just got from my bridge was this. Maybe you find it incredible, maybe you don't, but I definitely did the first time I saw it with my own eyes. Now, it might sound a bit strange, but doing that bridge there, although I feel like I've sort of broken my back in about 7 different places, that was probably the highlight of the day, and it could be up there with the highlight of the month, because it's hard to explain. I mean, obviously I've done the video, but in reality, it almost like turned the whole landscape upside down. Almost like it was the white sky and I was doing a bridge on blue water. So I'm walking back now. A couple of things. I've got no emergency toilet roll left because of the mishap earlier. However, I have to say I'm feeling a lot better now, so hopefully nothing happens on the way back. But yeah, I might have to go through all that rigmarole with the water again to get back towards the town, unless I get a pickup on the way. I'm still doubtful. The car coming. I'll stick my thumb out and see what happens. No, as expected. There's another massive sort of pothole, if you want to call it that. Wow. So, the world's largest salt flat that I'm in now, Salar de Uyuni, stretches 10,582 kilometers squared, the largest in the world. And the salt crust here that you see all around me was supposedly created 40,000 years ago by nature when lakes in the area evaporated. And the salt crust now covers a pool of water which is rich in lithium. Following rain, this area will become the world's largest mirror, 80 miles wide for a mirror. How about that? The Unseen, The Fall, Salt and Fire, and The Last Jedi are a few examples of famous films filmed here in Salar de Uyuni. And Salar de Uyuni is also home to several species of flamingos. Pelaya, a local plant, and quinoa plants are present in the salt flat, but not much else at all. It's devoid of life pretty much in totality. And one other thing, Uyuni, the name Uyuni, it means pen, but not a writing pen, almost like an enclosure, a pen. So Salar de Uyuni means like the salt enclosure or the salt pen. Can you see a face there as well? 2 eyes and a mouth. Hello! Another declination of my hitchhiking thumb. Oh, maybe not. They seem to have stopped. Hola. ¿Es bueno if I jump in? Sí. Muchas gracias. Oh, sí. Sí, yo caminé de Colchani esta mañana a Isla Banderitas. Okay. Pero esta mañana necesité caminar por agua. Por eso yo pregunto por carro, porque necesito sacar mis zapatos y caminar por agua.
Okay.
Pero es lindo. ¿De dónde eres?
Bélgica.
Oh, Belgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
¿Bélgica o belga? Yo soy belga.
In Europa?
In Europa, Belgica.
Which, French or Dutch?
French.
Oh, okay. Because I speak Dutch. So.
Yes, but...
Dan kunnen we gewoon Nederlands
Oh, dan kunnen we gewoon Nederlands praten. Mijn moeder komt uit Nederland, mijn vader komt uit Engeland.
Okay.
you're half English, half Dutch.
Ja.
Okay.
Precies.
Okay, well, I'm American.
In American?
Oh, American.
Yes.
But you speak Dutch?
I lived in Holland for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
You
Nice.
lived in... So...
Well, how about that?
How about that?
Ooh, well, can you imagine that? Hitchhiking in Salar de Uyuni, they're on a tour, and the woman is Belgian-French, or Belgian, and the man is from America, but he used to live in Holland, so he spoke Dutch, dus ik heb een beetje Nederlands gepraat met hem. En ik ben nu op de straat naar Colchani, dus ik heb ongeveer half uur een uur gespaard. I've saved about an hour with that hitchhike, and yeah, so now I'm gonna walk to the main road in Colchani and wait for a bus to come past. This also means my feet are still dry on the return journey. Well, they're still a bit damp, but they didn't get any more wet on the return journey, so I am quite grateful for that. Not having to get my napkins out. I haven't got any napkins left. I would have had to use my shirt to dry my feet. I just checked on my map and it's actually still 90-minute walk to Colchani, so still got a fair bit to go. I just tripped over a cat's eye. I just let this bus drive past me when it's actually going to a uni. I was looking at it, but I didn't see the sign on it until it drove past. Estoy muy agradecido.
Muy bien.
Gracias, que tengan buen día, chao. So I have arrived back in the uni now with a hitchhike from the people that took me over the water area. They ended up coming back on the main road, so it's lucky I didn't take that bus. And it looks like the fairground is in full play at the moment. Fun times here in a uni. The only other thing to mention was on that journey back, the driver put his hand up to the right and left side. I thought he was waving to someone on the side of the road. He wasn't, but when he did it, there seemed to be kind of memorials or small huts with sort of like tinsel on them, so maybe it was for people that have passed, but I don't know why their commemorations would be on the side of that road. There were quite a lot of them. Alright, I'm back at my hostel now. I hope you enjoyed the video on how to do the Uyuni Salt Flat tour by yourself, and the total spend for me today was 7 Bolivianos, which is 70p, and that was just the bus to Colchani. What else to say? When I got out the hitchhike going into the Salar to Uni, he said I need glasses or some kind of protection for my eyes because there's lots of I don't know, something gets in my eyes. I did feel a bit of dryness in my eyes, maybe because of the salt, but as far as my experience, I did not need the sunglasses. And anything else? Yeah, if anything, I need the sunglasses here in a uni because the dirt on the roads gets in your eyes quite a lot. But thank you for watching. Adios. Later that night, my eyes were slightly red, but I thought not too much of it. When I woke up the following morning, I looked like this. So now I would advise bringing eye protection, also toilet rolls and wellies. It is now the following morning, and I ended the video yesterday saying there's no need to worry about sunglasses or any eye protection, but this morning you may be able to see it's still a bit inflamed around my eyes. I'm going to put a picture of what it looked like when I first woke up this morning. Also, when I went to bed last night, my eyes started going really red, as in the whites of my eyes. So maybe I would advise some kind of eye protection, especially if you're walking in the salt flats like me for around 6 hours in total.